It should be no surprise that state after state has rejected same-sex marriage through a state referendum, especially in Maine. Um, it should be obvious by now that a majority group can never have the authority to vote on the right of a minority group. And even when legislation are decided in the legislature, it is still not a place we can see justice prevail. So it should be no surprise that the resolution that deemed the UN Gaza report led by Richard Goldstone is considered to be irredeemably biased and unworthy of further consideration or legitimacy by the U.S. Congress. And they took the vote, and it was decided by a vote of 344 to 36 that the resolution should pass. So overwhelmingly, Democrats and Republicans altogether would consider it illegitimate to consider any evidence that reported both Israel and Hamas have committed war crimes. And of course, it's illegitimate and worthless, especially if you're a U.S. politician on Capitol Hill, to consider the right of Palestinians since they can't even vote and they're halfway across the ocean. Unfortunately, Canada is no better on that front. And I'll say that for making videos that I harshly criticize Israel, some of Israel policy, it is sickening that people think I am some anti-Semite. And there are anti-Semites that have tried to approach me and talk about how Jewish control the bank, how they control everything. And I don't think that kind of criticism is legitimate neither, even though I am a harsh critic of Israel. And I think that is sickening that even till today, many Jewish people are persecuted under hate crime, just like other minorities, simply because they're Jewish. It totally doesn't make any sense to me, and I think it's completely evil to think in such a way. It's also frustrating and scary to hear from a government that suggests, government of Canada, that suggests Israel is guilty of apartheid. These kind of statements can be considered anti-Semitism. I think this just confused the whole issue and make it harder for people who seek for justice to speak out. And it's not easy to dismiss the Goldstone report out of hand because Goldstone himself is Jewish and he believed in the existence of Israel. And he did not initially want to study what has happened in Gaza earlier this year. This is found on Wikipedia because he believed that the rocket attack on civilians itself in Israel should justify not being a credit of Israel. But he decided to finally accept the mandate, and because he believed in a rule of law or principle that exists in armed conflict, if such a thing exists. And I do believe they do exist. To his credit, Goldstone suggests that the report he wrote is critical of both party, Hamas and Israel, but that's worthless in the U.S. Congress. So we should not only blame Obama or anyone really, anyone specific really, for not seeing justice. U.S. is not a place where we can really expect international justice to prevail, or even human right justice for same-sex couple to prevail. It takes really a brave politician, a brave leader, a courageous leader to really decide to do what is right, and that almost never happened. And if you want to have true legal equality for all group of people, Jewish, Palestinian, gays, or whatever you are, I think we need to be clearly united to support the humanity in everyone. And I think that's very hard because we like to think we're special. The people who vote against Maine, the same-sex marriage, they probably are, maybe a lot of them are seniors. There are people who, all their lives they think it's their love between a man and a woman. It just has been so special to them that they can't let go of that. And, I'm sad to say, but I think it's the sense of entitlement, a sense of privilege that just because you're a certain person, you're entitled to certain special recognition that other minority don't deserve. And that's just the mindset that we need to get rid of.